Hello, beautiful people. Let's talk about Atomic Habits, Chapter 6. I'm flipping through the book right now. Lots of good stuff in this. This is one of my favorite chapters simply because it is about the environment, which is what I am all about in creating the home of your dreams. So, Chapter 6, motivation is overrated and environment often matters more. Motivation just kind of comes and goes, right? It's just fleeting. It doesn't always last forever. You're not going to be 100% motivated all of the time. If you are, tell me what you're drinking, man, because I want some of that because I don't have that all the time either. There's ups and downs and cycles and flows and ebbs, and that's normal, right? So, okay, I love how you can use your environment to just create habits as best you can, putting things front and center, being able to see them, make things attractive, like make them available to you in order to influence your habits. Or get them out of your environment if they are freaking sabotaging you, if it is a bad habit that you do not want to be doing and participating in. So get them out of your environment or make them a little bit harder to get to or to see those cues, whatever the thing is. Let's do a little reading together, shall we? I highlighted on page 84, visual cues are the greatest catalyst for our behavior. So we are very, very visual creatures. So somewhere in here it says that our sensory nervous system, in humans, perception is directed by the sensory nervous system. We perceive the world through sight, sound, smell, touch, and that's what we talk about a lot in the club. How do you want to feel? What do you want to see? What do you want to smell when you're in your home? It's really, really important. And when you're planning your ideal day, because we are so sensory. So according to this, most of the sensory stimuli are visual for us as humans or in our eyes. So whatever your eyeballs see and whatever you land on really influences how you go through your day. So the visual cues are the greatest catalyst for our behavior. For this reason, a small change in what you see can lead to a big change in what you do. Absolutely. You don't have to be the victim of your environment. You can be the architect of your environment. So take control of your environment. So, for instance, he just says, it's not easy to read a book when the bookshelf is in the corner of your guest room because it's not front and center. You just don't think about it. It's not easy to take your vitamins if they are behind closed doors in the pantry. So when the cues that spark a habit are very subtle or hidden, they are so easy to ignore. Right? Amen. That's very true. So if you want to remember to take your medication, make sure it's front and center. Make sure it's right where you can see it. Mine is right next to the refrigerator, so I grab a glass of water. I've got them all organized, of course. Like I organize them on Sundays and put them in my little pill popper thingies. And I know what I take in the evening and the night, and I take my vitamins. And I hardly miss a day because it's right there, because it's just kind of built into my day, because that's where I naturally go. The oil pulling, I told you that I'm doing that. I was having to wake up in the morning and then go into the kitchen, get the coconut oil, get a spoon, scoop it, get the coconut oil, swish it around, go back to the bathroom. That wasn't working for me, so I would forget to go do it because I forget to go to the kitchen first thing when I wake up. I don't do that. I go to the bathroom when I wake up. So now I have the coconut oil in the bathroom, and it is the liquid coconut oil, which is much nicer for me to take than the clumpy solid stuff that melts in your mouth. So I didn't really enjoy the texture of that. So now I do it every single morning, and it is just part of my morning routine. If you want to remember to send thank you notes, keep a stack of stationery on your desk. If you want to drink more water, fill up a few water bottles each morning and put them around common places in your house, wherever you are, which I think that's a great idea too. And then he talks about the context is the cue. So the cues that trigger a habit can start out very specific, but over time your habits become associated not with just one single trigger, but with a context surrounding. So very true. Like we went out to eat last night with family, and it would have in the past been very easy for me to go ahead and just order order a glass of wine because of all the context cues around me. We were with Rob's family, so I knew that his dad was going to order a drink. Mother-in-law, sister-in-law, everybody got drinks, and you're in an environment where it's kind of festive and there's background noise and everybody's having a good time. It just makes sense to have a drink, or it used to, but I've broken that habit, so that no longer means that for me anymore. So I did not order a drink. I did not get wine like I may have in the past, or a margarita. That's my drink right there. I did not get a margarita, and I felt really great this morning when I woke up. And so as everybody was finishing up their drinks, Barrett and I, my son and I, walked over to the ice cream shop, and he got an ice cream. And again, that would have been a really good context cue for me in the past to, ooh, yes, please, I will have salted caramel ice cream. But once you break your habits and like, is this thing going to make me feel the way that I want to feel? It's, for me anyway, that's the question I ask myself. Sugar and alcohol, it's hard to remember that though, but is this going to make me feel the way I want to feel in a few minutes? No, absolutely not. So I didn't get ice cream, and Barrett enjoyed his lime sherbet, and all was well. So I had a great dinner, feel great this morning. Our behavior is not defined by the objects in the environment, but our relationship to them. That is so powerful to me. So stop thinking about your environment is filled with objects and start thinking about your environment being filled with relationships. For some reason, when I read that, I went, whoa. Yes, because we have a relationship with our home and the things in our home, and the sounds and the smells, they all mean things to us. So when you're creating the home of your dreams, when you are pouring love into your home, how do you want it to smell? How do you want it to sound? And you're going to base that on how you want to feel, right? So do you want it to be kind of party-like and filled with goodies and smell a certain way that will make you be tempted to eat junk food, or you know what I'm trying to say, right? I think you know what I'm trying to say. So you can train yourself to link particular habits with a particular context. So read on page 88. You don't need to listen to me jabber on anymore, but it is really, the power of context is really, 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 really powerful. And I think this is amazing too, like how you can change your environment to create really good habits. So every habit is initiated by a cue. It is easier to build new habits in a new environment. Oh, okay, let's talk about that. So remove yourself. If you're trying to avoid something, or you're trying to do something in particular, sleep, for instance. Let's talk about sleep again, because it's a struggle for some of us. If you are laying in bed, if you have the habit of picking up your phone and laying in bed at night and looking at your phone, or even reading or doing anything other than sleep in your bedroom, then your brain doesn't know that, like, as you walk into your room at a certain time every night, be consistent with the time too, then your brain doesn't know it's time to settle down. It's your brain's like, oh yay, okay, it's time to peruse Facebook, or it's time to read a juicy novel. So if you're struggling with sleep, by the way, books make me fall asleep, so I don't have that issue. But if you're reading and you're not falling asleep, read somewhere else before you come into your room. Only sleep in your room. Or be intimate with your husband or whatever, that's fine too. But only use your room for those two purposes if you are struggling with sleep, and see if that helps, because the context cues just, so if you can't sleep, and just get up maybe and leave the room and then come back, or what else, leaving the room in the situation, if you can't handle not ordering a drink and you really don't want to order a drink, go ahead and say, hey, we're going to walk over and go get an ice cream cone as everybody is finishing up their drinks. So that was me removing myself from the situation too. Although I have to admit, just disclaimer, I didn't have any urge to order a drink, but that's just an example. So, okay. I think this is a really great book, and I think it's very, very good stuff if we actually apply what we learn. So as you read this book and you learn stuff, start applying it. Don't just let it go into your brain and then forget about it. Actually start applying it and be a student. Get your highlighter out. Highlight the things that resonate with you, the things that you need to improve on. That's what I'm doing. I make notes inside the books. And when I do that, when I, the power of the pen, when I write notes or when I highlight, it just stays up there a little bit more for me. So, okay. I hope everybody's doing good with this. Okay. Creating good habits.